on the desk here. And yeah, the map record not looking so great for Mouse there.
No, definitely not. I think we ended that note with sad Chris J, maybe a little bit nervous, and
sad Chris J.
Obviously,
just the new meme.
the new meme. Yeah, I mean it's wild, isn't it? If you think about Chris J at like his absolute best, where
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? But then it's true once he sort of gets onto land, things get a bit different. And there was that one time when it seemed like he had sort of broken that. It was working better. But something's definitely up. And with how well Nico's playing, you also got to wonder, like, whenever you have one player on the team that's that good, is the rest of the team even going to survive it? Like, that could almost kill the team that one player is just that much better. But we will see. Envy, they did have a pretty rough showing on this particular map during DreamHack, so we'll see if they could somehow make it back. Speedy already at top mid with Chris as well. Just a double stack going on over at B, and they're going to get rushed down. Nico, the great start, but Envy, they're going to continue.
Yeah, Envy aren't stopping, and it's Kenny S at the forefront there with blocked into hand. Just going to be trying to take the shot towards Nubox, but it's Nico again, having the time of his life. And how many times can we go on about this man just doing serious work? Dennis will at least find one, but it was again the Nico show.
Yeah, it's you know, it's almost becoming boring at this point. He's just too good, isn't he?
Just someone else, please. just do something.
Anybody. But you see how effortless and smooth that is. Like, Envy really put no pressure on them there. It's a hard... I don't even know what is the right choice. You know, you obviously want to get as close to the B-bomb side as you can before they realize you're there. But they had the double stack at top bananas. They were going to know. But once the first guy goes down to a one-shot like that, do you change the plan or do you just keep going? I mean...
I think it's a team mentality thing as well. It's like, oh, screw it, just keep going. You know what I mean? Like some teams... Exactly. It summarizes Envy pretty well at the moment. I think it was MVK even saying, we're going to reset after... DreamHack, pretty much. We need to have a reset after this. And I don't think anyone can blame them for that sort of attitude at the moment, considering their style seemingly starting to run out. That sort of form that they had has certainly dropped off. But again, Envy now with the Tech 9, it's not much else. A fair bit of armor to boot with it, so as ever, going for these rounds as much as possible, and going to take that apps control, and maybe you're going to play out of possibly Boiler here. But then again, the stack towards quad from Mouse is just waiting so perfectly for this.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Because nobody can get picked off on this A-bomb side and lose a rifle anywhere. You know, they're all three. The only way they lose rifles is if everybody dies here. So even if one person walks into a Tech 9, or they don't know how to deagle, but even if they did, you see, wouldn't make much of a difference. Dennis set up here with a P90 and a smoke, and the timing is just so good here. Envy gonna have to wait a little while longer, and when they recommit, Nico's in the background ready with the flashbang. So this should be a slaughter. They do have armor, though.
Oh, this is beautiful timing. Those flashes are connecting very well as well, but Devil's still going to power through with the Tech 9 regardless. And there you go. Kenny's found Nico. Suddenly, the B site is under control, even though, in theory, Mouse played that pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, they certainly did. I mean, that was a really, really good idea. But that forward smoke, I think, also made the angle a bit weird for Dennis with the P90. It is one of the better sort of SMGs for armor penetration, that along with the UMP. But just weren't able to make the difference. Also, by the way, just to sort of follow up on the deagle point, it is always picked up so much more on land just because of how different the game feels. And online, you know, just a little bit different. But those Tech 9s working just fine. So Envy coming right back into it here. Speedy just looking, save what he can next as well in Library. And should be able to do that. Not such a bad end to the round here for Mouse if they can keep the rest of the guns alive.
Yeah, Kelly needs to be relatively careful. 3 HP survives on 1 and keeps the M4, which was the massive pickup from that B site. So impressive that he's managed to keep hold of that, didn't lose out even though he was down so low. So again, Envy pick up the round. They've got a fair bit to work with now, and on the other side of Mouse, their money's pretty screwed, aside from the people who were able to maintain. They can drop out a couple of bits and pieces. You've got a Nova coming in for Dennis, so again, going to be pretty hard to hold on to this one, and Mouse going to be pretty frustrated after that. It was a really great idea towards quad at the start. Relatively played well towards B, but as you said, a couple of things maybe off. Maybe that smoke not quite working as well as hoped. Does allow the chance for Envy, and those Tech 9s, you don't need to help them out with Tech 9s in any way, shape, or form.
Now, what did they... Well, Dennis, I think, just bought a Nova shotgun, even though he had the UMP. They actually had 4 UMPs and 1 from us, but then now there's a UMP in CT spawn for no reason. So that's just sort of a weird waste of money, I feel like they didn't really need to necessarily do. Sure, I mean, the Nova shotgun's fine, but the UMP from that position would have been just as good in some situations, so not really sure about that, but it also tells us that they're ready to take up the fight here. They want to see if they can continue. You can't blame them having saved 3 of the SMGs from the earlier round, but if they don't make this work, it's going to be a really, really bad start for them. They'll have their money reset, and Envy just going to be in a pretty cool position, and they've got Happy keeping only 2 people here. You still see the sort of the heavy gravitation towards the B bomb site. Nico going to turn around for it here. Not flash, but the follow-up flashbang will. The Nova Gonna do a bit of damage, but Chris will pick up the early kill there, and Chris with another one. The FAMAS just doing a lot of work. Triple from the car. Now Happy and Apex trying to get that bomb. Happy catching next in the rotation. And this is smart from Apex, because as soon as Happy gets the kill at Archway, obviously Mousesports are going to know that he's alone in there.
Yeah, now Happy needs to get a safe enough position to maybe be able to catch those two players. I know at least Chris J is on this pot, maybe assuming that Speedy's with him. So now Happy's going to put himself towards Library and assume that he can watch this cross through, hoping they don't come towards Arch. He can see if they push through towards the kind of site. And now 2v2, bomb is planted. He's going to hear these steps. He's going to take the peek on the first. Actually fluffs it a fair bit there. Allows Speedy to come back in. Now they've got the AK, and it's a 1v2 for Apex.
I don't know, that was some truly ugly. Kind of want to see people jumping with UMPs and getting headshots. It's just bad, isn't it? Apex in a really good position, though. Look at how unaware they are this was happening, and he's already putting a lot of damage into Speedy early on. They're down to 7 health. The spray comes through. Apex going to pick that one up, and should just be a single bullet here, and Speedy's going to be out of it. So Apex with a really good movement in this particular round, and the pistol to follow it up, and there was almost no way he was going to lose that. Running out of the B-bomb site, swift decision, and then the 1-on-2 clutch. Why not?
Yeah, that's that spot to start with. It's actually pretty sick, and I like to play around the smoke as well. So, again, Apex kind of pulling up the slack there. Him and Happy in the end, pretty much defining that round. Mouse, as you said, the jumping UMPs and such, clearly the next big thing. And the Deagles have come pretty much true. Again, Mouse are a team that likes using it. Nico's one of the, I guess, foremost people of using this. We've got the Mac-10s out for Envy, and not that much armor on the Mouse side. So we could see some decent farming here. Dennis, gotta be careful.
Sort of surprised that Deagle only hit one person, because there were a whole stack of them down there. Happy there to take out Chris. Speedy has picked up a taser, which that's his brand now. That's his trademark almost. Just trying to see if he could taser people. I think it's delightful. I like that element to the game, you know.
I just like the little yelp it gives off.
That is. It's
I
really
don't know
hard.
what that says about me, but
I want to try and imitate it, but at the same time I won't.
I would pay so much money.
Someone will put it on a soundboard somewhere, and it'll be forever there.
It'd be the greatest moment of my life. But Happy is going full-on hunting with this Mac-10. It's Devil with the other side. I think Speedy connecting a bit of a peach then towards Apex. Not going to lie on that one, but Happy's still mowing people down in the smoke. Not really stopping him too much. Spamming away with the Glock. He is connecting quite heavily towards Nico, but Nico will at least manage to catch on back. So they're doing a little bit of damage, but it's the two Mac-10s pretty much now removed. The rifle's been recovered. Speedy is waiting, and this could be beautiful.
NBK, I'm not sure he realizes, not necessarily the danger, but certainly the humiliation that's waiting around the corner. As Nico does go down, bit of an expensive round for Envy. Speedy wants to take the shot. Not gonna. If he had patience, maybe that could have worked out. I don't think Apex had any head armor, because that looked like that USP did more damage than it should have. So a bit of a mistake maybe. But 3-1 as a beginning for. I mean, they got just completely manhandled over at that B-bomb side of the pistol round. But since then, they haven't had too much to show for it, and their economy is so weird now. You could see that now they go for 4 HE grenades, going to try and set up something cool with that. But obviously, they're just going to go for a long time without being able to even buy AWPs or smoke and Molotov, which is so important on the CT side here.
Yeah, Nico's done a little bit of something, and I guess finding a bit of information, allowing Chris J next to possibly cheat a little further over towards B. But again, Envy has so much time, they don't need to commit anywhere, and this weird buy is going to be kind of awkward. These rifles, well, I guess the one rifle down isn't particularly recoverable either, with Kenny here as well, and the rest of Envy. So Speedy's going to be listening out over on towards the A side. He's pretty much the only man dedicated towards this. Flashes come in, but only Kenny committing. No one else is going this way. All of the other Envy side are running down towards A. Kenny is selling it like an absolute champ. He whiffs the shot, massively allowing Dennis to hit it, but now it's all about the rotate. You've got Happy still lurking away. The two players hitting the A side have a 2v2 now. Chris J and Speedy can do some damage.
They definitely can. MBK under a little bit of pressure here, trying to see if he can move it forward. Grenade is going to be a pretty good bank in there, doing a lot of damage onto Speedy, even with the armor. Very nearly goes down, but Chris shooting him in the back of the head. That makes for a double kill, actually. And Happy now going to be in a 1-on-3. See if he could somehow find a way out. He's got about 30-some seconds left here. It is possible for him to do it, but it's going to be a really, really rough clutch, and they don't want to let Mousesports back into a round like this.
Happy's just going to take his time on this. They're going to hear that as well, and he's going to find one and trade it out for Chris J. I'm not going to lie, they completely ignored him on the site then. I guess they ignored the fact that he could have possibly been there that fast, and they thought maybe Speedy was the man soloing, which he was for quite some time. But again, really nice positioning from Chris J coming through, allowing them the chance now to get a decent buy-in, finally get the AWP, and EnVy got to be kicking themselves for that sort of round.
They did actually also throw the bottle directly at him. I feel like that's bad-mannered as well. Plus, I think it actually did slow him down. You can have, you know, sort of grenade collision, so sometimes you're just like your movement will be a bit weird after running into one of these grenades. So I think maybe that screwed it up a little bit for him as well. Now, EnVy, back to their old force-up methods. They did only leave 2 people alive in the previous round on Mousesports' team, so they're sort of thinking their economy is still going to be low. Let's just try and power up behind this. And in the glory days of EnVy, these would be the rounds they would win all the time. And you could tell they're setting up for smokes and molotovs as well. And last time they rushed B, they were quite successful. So, I mean, just 2 people here. It's Dennis and Nico. They got to hold on to this, because otherwise EnVy are going to be right back.
And last time, Christian was able to cheat over early. He's not there this time. Nico and Dennis will have to do the heavy lifting. Already Apex is going himself towards Ruins, but Dennis, with the molly, finds Kenny. And now it's the Nico show. 2 kills back-to-back, and they're going in 1 by 1, allowing him a chance. But Happy, what was that? The P250 comes out, he picks up 2, and suddenly they've got some control on the site, but the bomb not planted. This is still massively favored towards Mousesports.
And a nice double forward smoke. It's going to be a little bit tricky to make it through here. But why has Happy not found a rifle to pick up someone? It's really weird. He's still using this pistol. They're trying for the boost on the other side. Happy actually waiting inside the smoke. He's going to come right through. The Speedy there to take him down. Apex, they do have kits on every single player. It'll be a really hard clutch for him to pull through. Crouching into construction, trying to see if he can find the right angle. The spray successful the first time around. Still another 2 people left. He hasn't reloaded yet. Still got 18 bullets left. Looking for a second one. That's a headshot on Nex, and still more to come. And Bomb is now ticked quite fast. Speedy has a Molotov. He could maybe try and zone him out, but he's just going straight for the defuse, and that might have been a mistake here. It's going to be the peak from Apex. And oh, he gets the shot! And there should be just enough time. Speedy, that's actually very patient. I thought the Molotov would make a difference there, but that seemed like Apex should have had that round.
It was all his then. He'd got the harder kills in that. The 1v1, you'd think, okay, well, he shoulder peeked the first bit, but the instant going back on the bomb almost, I guess, threw him off there. And Speedy, what a great play from him. I'm thoroughly impressed.
How do EnVyUs lose 2 people to Molotovs running into the bombs? That seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
I don't understand. It was so much mayhem at the start of it. It was Dennis who got the first, I think, or possibly Nico, and then everything fell apart. I don't know how EnVy managed to kind of screw that up so badly. Again, it was turned around by Happy pretty much wandering in with a P250 and killing 2 people flat out with it. I like the aggressive pop flash of the smoke, but again, like, why wasn't he able to find maybe a rifle? I don't know. There were so many weird kind of small happenings in that round that kind of created this strange arena where Apex had to get that 1v3, which he so almost did.
Yeah, it was quite. He seemed to handle it so well. The first 2 kills were effortless, weren't they? Credit to Speedy for stepping it up. That definitely isn't an easy clutch to pull through from his point of view.
Yep. More difficult than I can imagine he thought at that point. But again, it does seem as though EnVy going to go towards second mid, maybe set up a piece coming in from this one. Again, though, it looks like Nex and Christian are fairly attentive towards it, and the smokes are being lined up, but it's a bit of a dangerous peek on the side then, allowing 2 players to go down so needlessly at this point. Speedy's now pulled himself up to support through quad. Stunning follow-up as well. Now it's towards Kenny S, and suddenly EnVy have absolutely nothing in this round, and they had a fair bit to work with then and had no chance to use it.
Yeah, because as you were pointing out, they were setting up grenades on the corner while exposed. I've never even seen that before. I
don't know what you can do from that corner. That close to it, anyway.
What I mean, yeah, I'm wondering, because obviously what they were setting up for was the sort of classic EnVy execute that goes towards Archway, and they just throw a bunch of smokes in there. But it seemed like they had something else planned as well, just because normally they don't set up that far into the corner. It's very confusing. I don't know what's happening.
No, because normally it's almost from where the ivy's on the wall, kind of where the shadow is. You can easily do the smokes towards, quad, towards the truck, wherever you want to. You can set something up from there. But I've not seen anything like that, unless they were maybe trying to bait a shot. I don't know. There was very weird logic to that. That maybe if we look back on it, we could maybe assume something out of it. But again, it was a very easy pickup from the player at CT. I think it was Chris J then as well. He was just sitting there like, well, if you're going to allow me to peek you with grenades in your hand, thank you. That's very kind.
They may actually show it to us again. I think they are. So
yeah, they are.
These are the 3 players that I'm wondering about.
So dangerous.
Where's the forward smoke go? So they're just smoking Arch and Library. They don't actually have to expose themselves that much to do that smoke, but they're being very, very fast, and maybe that's the difference. They're just so fast up behind the smokes that it'll catch people off guard. Good shot from Speedy, following up, getting a double kill, but he can't get the third. Falls back into the fire, and it's going to be a bomb plant here and a 2-on-2, but they just don't have enough health here. Envy, it's still a pretty good effort. Get 3 kills, get the bomb down with just Tech 9s and armor. That's still worth it, but yeah, the only thing that I can think of is that you're going to be so quick behind the smokes that it
offsets the timing, maybe?
But by like a sec, I can't even explain that.
These are things I'd love to just ask the team, like, why?
Someone tweet me and explain to me why they have to stand at the corner and not just stand further back.
Because, don't get me wrong, it was a CT arch smoke, it was a library smoke, and I think they did one towards quad, which is the standard one you line up. So those are the kind of core 3, but again, those 3 aren't necessarily just from that spot. Like, as you said, it could be because they're quicker towards these plays, they could be offsetting the timing, maybe Mouse wouldn't be ready, but it's very, very dangerous. It's a high-risk move, and I don't think we've really seen the reward, although they did get a plant. But anyway, into this round 5-3, Mousesports are still in the lead. EnVyUs still getting this very, very close up. But Christian now onto the AWP. Not going to find the first shot there down towards Kenny sitting in the bottom. And still, he's just going to be tapping away and trying to keep hold of that. And they have forced a little bit more utility out of the CTs.
5-3 here, and Mousesports just struggling to maintain a good CT side economy. Envy just need to essentially get a single round in here, and it'll work out just fine for them. Once again, bit of a boost about to come in, looking over the smoke from Mousesports' point of view. Speedy up top there, but he's got to be really careful. 3 people on this side. He does see the shoulder of someone there, and Apex is going to be gone. Very patient play. No crazy spray coming out. Just going to straight go for it, and Devil wanted to follow up on that one. Not going to be able to. Goes down to Nex instead, and Happy. If he dies now, then the whole round is pretty much over, so bit of a risk for him to try and take this fight, but over at the B-bomb site, it's going to be Nico hiding on the other side of the smoke. 2 people coming through. If they could kill him, then at least they could get the bomb down, but killing Nico is just not always that easy. Will be successful. MBK strafing through the smoke with the Galil. Again, it's not beautiful Counter-Strike, but it did work.
Envy, sometimes their style of CS is far from beautiful. And actually, Kenny has to abort the bomb plant. He can't get it done just yet. The molly did stop it. Has to adjust round towards coils. Now going to get the plant. So it's into a 3v4. The HP on Mouse is pretty low, and considering how the odds were stacking against Envy, for them to be able to turn this around a touch isn't too bad, mostly due to MBK finding Nico at that point. But again, it's retake time for Mouse. They're fairly close by, waiting, I think, on the flash then to come through, so they're going to just pounce through that smoke, but it's MBK to trade out on one. Kenny follows up towards Spitty, but now down to this 1v1. It's Dennis up against Happy, and Happy positioned himself so perfectly onto that bomb, making sure he had the angle, and Dennis didn't stand a chance.
Mouse really shouldn't be losing a round like that. So that's really strange. I mean, Nico did go down without taking anyone with him, which is uncharacteristic, but they still had the man advantage, which means they should have been able to have backup. And maybe that actually maybe we should criticize his positioning in that sense. Because if they're playing if they're stacking 3A and 1B in a 4v3, why not have the guy either be out on banana so he can see what's happening, and if he can't be that because he's already been sort of smoked them all as a weight, then have him be so far enough back that they can sort of do the full retake. That's just a
bit
strange
needless,
round.
maybe. Yeah. Curious. Again, I guess hindsight is 20/20, but still, logically, you still have to keep that in mind.
It's the best part of being a caster.
X-ray and hindsight, it's great. Yeah. But no, it is a very good point, of course, if you weigh up the options. And this seems like that standard MV hit they've been doing on that B site, Happy lining up the same sort of mollies, but this time they're on the full buy, so I'm wondering if they're going to go for this, if this is how they like to play against maybe those questionable buys. Have to wait and see. And it does seem as though Apex is the one who's been let loose, and he's managed to get around right behind them, finding Dennis now. Nico very much alone here, smokes himself out a touch. He's just about making some footsteps as they come through, but Devil's going to spray it down anyway, assuming there'll be another player on the side, which he is correct to be feeling as so. And this is a nice take from Envy. This is those B hits that we saw originally with the Tech 9s that came through so strongly, now able to replicate that to some degree with rifles, but again, Nex isn't done just yet. Managed to pick up the rifle, still carries on, and they're still doing damage here, Mouse, but again, Christian needs to be careful. He wants to keep that up. And it seems as though the cleanup crews come in for Envy.
So Dennis over at that B bomb site was going for what we sometimes call the existence flash, where you sort of throw the grenade into the wall behind the tree there, and it pounds us back into yellow towards the B bomb site. That's all good fun, but then Nico obviously wasn't aware of that. He got flashed, so he couldn't even. I mean, if he wanted to engage the rest of Envy who were coming in behind the front runner, then he wouldn't have been able to because he was flashed by a teammate. So. That's just some really, really weird play coming out. I don't know why Mousesports are engaged in this kind of a defense here.
Is it one of those things where they seem a little burnt out, do you think, after events? They've had a couple of losses, maybe frustration, maybe just like, oh, you know, we can't qualify anymore. We're just middle tier of the table. I don't know. 'Cause these aren't things that Mousesports classically do. They have core issues, don't get me wrong, but generally it's not these problems, I think. You know, it's
No,
a big assessment, but again, it's kind of weird to see. And Christian's been absolutely hammered down with the nades. Nico, though, with the USPS does enough, and there goes the AWP, and that gets recovered over towards the EnVy side. A 2-for-2 trade out, but excuse me, 2-for-1 trade out, but Mouse do only have the pistols, so still be a very tough round for them to do anything with, considering they haven't been able to pick up those guns, and Devil trying to hide it away.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't stick around and actually hide the guns. Just throw them
over.
Yeah, throw them over the railing there. It's so easy to do. Speedy trying to taser more people because it's gone so. Oh, he sees an opportunity. I don't think Speedy's actually playing to win this game. I think he's just looking for a highlight for himself.
To be fair, he's been playing really well. He's on 12-6, and he's currently to. Oh, what the hell is going? Can we just appreciate what's happened here?
We've got Speedy trying to taser Happy, who is trying to knife someone.
Oh, this game, Anders, this game.
It's just a weird round. EnVy were under absolutely no pressure. I mean, right, the triple grenade on Chris is great, isn't it? That's how you want to start a round.
Lovely.
Then they have all the rifles. They can guess that was the only gun that was going to be alive on Mouse.
Yeah.
They could just put up a smoke into B, pick up all the guns, throw them away, and do whatever they want from that point. It doesn't even matter what they do at that point in time. Just make sure that Mousesports now, they've given them the AWP back and a couple of AKs to it's just a stupid round from EnVy. I don't know how else to put it.
It is a little bit baffling. And Nex is going to be playing on the balcony. He's going to hear all these steps coming through. It should be an easy lineup. The first, second, and the third. And EnVy just getting shredded down. Beautiful stuff from Nex. Can't find any more, but Spiddy's there just to close it down as well. So just good positioning.
Just to answer your earlier question about the burnout and everything else, I mean, I think when you're a professional player and you play the game as much as these guys do, I think you're going to go into a match like you will always have that, you know, like good team, like, oh, it's match time, let's get ready, let's get on.
Hopeful, Anders.
Yeah, no, I think that happens, but I think no matter how much you try and find it, you will be still thinking a little bit about you'll lose some of the focus, right? It is hard to stay that focused for that long, you know. They have a huge boot camp and they get ready for DreamHack and then they play that DreamHack tournament and then right afterwards they have to go and do this again. I think they could be suffering sort of a lack of focus, not because they don't take it seriously, because they don't want to, but just because it's almost a bit too much, isn't it?
It is a little strenuous. Don't get me wrong, these guys are professionals, you know, they make a fair bit of money. It's not, you know, it's anything against that. But I actually like this from Mouse coming back to this round. Deep smokes, deeper play from Dennis, pushing down, leaving Nico now to solo it out. This is maybe what you almost wanted to see, rather than playing passive towards maybe that porch, pushing himself down, getting control, and now cheating one player over towards the A side. And actually, EnVy are walking towards this for now. They can still turn back, but it looks like they might commit to this for now. Happy's got presence towards apps. Speedy focusing towards quad. And Happy, I think, just spotted one out towards Graveyard. So again, EnVy gained the information, but will they expect that fourth man to be cheated over this?
Well, smoke going up, and they are trying to see if they can wrap around Arch here. Chris actually being there to spot it out, while Nico's holding over at the B-bomb side all on his own. So not Chris opping right now, which is a bit interesting. Going to be the early kills happening for EnVy, and look at that. They just follow up, taking down Nex and Chris both after the initial engagement there. Apex with a triple to enter the bomb site. There's not much Nico could do at this point.
Again, that's got to be frustrating. For Mousesports, they read the play well. Their initial game plan was great. Okay, well, we got the information. No one's really playing towards B here. Maybe we could expect alert. Cool, we'll just leave Nico here. He can probably solo this one out. Great, all right. Dennis, get across towards A. And then, okay, well, let's sit really deep on the sides. Another, you know, good idea maybe. Gives it a little bit of control, maybe more than expected. But no one holding CT Archer at all then allowed pretty much EnVy to get the first shot, get the lineup, and push their way towards the site and dig these players out. Already Happy got so much information through the apartments. It seemed like a bit of a struggle, a needless struggle possibly for Mouse, and Nico just needs to stay alive, which may be harder than it sounds, but EnVy aren't all that close, and they can't really push as they're quite tagged up. But again, Apex, sick play as well. Three kills coming in towards a site like that. You know, he pretty much just cracked open the site and said, that's ours.
7-6 here. Mousesports, they're just not making this work, and because their defense is so far back on the bomb site, you know, they're back towards Library on the archway side, and everybody else on the quad side are back in the bomb side or in pit, all the way up in Graveyard. It's certainly safe in the sense they won't get picked up in middle, but you can tell that EnVy they get so close that by the time Mousesports realize the action is happening, that no one can coordinate anything, right? No one can flash each other in for a counter peek or anything like that. It's just everyone is fighting all at the same time. So if any one person loses sort of his individual battle, then the whole bomb site just falls almost immediately. Because when you're Chris playing that corner, what you really want is you want to realize that something is happening on Archway. You want to call in for a teammate who's in pit and say, throw me a flashbang and I'll go and take a peek and win this fight. But none of that happened.
Worst comes to worst, he flashes it himself just off the kind of little wooden lip. You can... Woo! How? MVK...
They were so hungry to kill Nico, they held this our opportunity. Now he's
They're
going to
killing each other for Nico, and if only he knew.
He's so low on health as well. How is he still alive back here? This is ridiculous. Now they're going to go running back in, and this time there's a bit of a better setup here at Archway, but Apex opening on one. Next does get the refrag, but he's going to be strafing back and forth. Another Molotov kill comes from the round, and this time it's Kenny, who did take out MBK with a Molotov earlier. Little Devil looking to get the kill, but not going to make it work. Chris will take him out, and the Mousesports, they will win an 8th round, moving into the 15th. I feel like we're just watching...
It's
just a really weird day of Counter-Strike early on here.
I don't know what to say about these rounds. They are baffling, to be completely honest with you. There's nothing logical about how they're starting. It's like, okay, well, what's the opening call? Cool. NBK gets killed by Kenny's molly. Nice. All right, sweet. That's expected. And I don't know. This is a weird one. You know, we're not necessarily criticizing Mouse. We were questioning some of Mouse's choices before and how they're playing certain elements. And now it's Envy just doing the dirty back to him. But Nico's already found out a fair bit of info here. MBK's been picked up pretty early. Molly goes down to buy some time. The rotate comes in, but now he's being pressured down. Goes for the quick pop flash. That may be too late, but no! Nico still stays alive for one. Great information gathered, but now EnVyUs surrounded.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. Follow up there from Speedy, really powerful with the M4, but it's going to be Dennis, in fact, to get the kill. And Happy alone in a 1-on-3. It will be Mousesports taking the last round and making it 9-6, which is, I don't know, sort of an even scoreline.
Not how I expected to see it, but yeah. It's
just how we ended up here, right? I don't know if we can see the rounds, but obviously even after the pistol, Envy sort of came back and took 3 rounds in a row, and then it was Mousesports more chance to get a little bit in their own favor. This was just a weird, really weird first half.
Yeah, like I know people argue that there is, you know, the theory of momentum if it even exists to any degree, but you know, among the general term of it, there was absolutely no momentum, no kind of carry on. The economy more than anything never built up for either team, so it's always so back and forward, and these rounds are so weird. Normally you see CT's teams just sign the string together once they get the economy built up, or then, you know, you'd see Apex just doing something absolutely ridiculous. Why?
Great camera work, Rush.
Thanks, Rush.
I appreciate that.
That was nuts.
we needed to know where that decoy was going to land.
I was worried.
I bet it's an integral part of their strategy right here.
I was hoping they'd do my 6 strat of the rush up second mid, wait for the players from B to push down, and then try and catch them out on Banana. Actually, it's kind of similar. My matchmaking abilities.
Maybe it's all part of the plan here. Oh, great pop flash coming out. Happy though, he's staying in a fight for a long time, and actually somehow the follow-up flash saves him. And Devil going to be picking up the kill. He should have been dead a while ago, and now he will be in the corner as well. He does take someone with him, which is pretty impressive. Envy getting way more out of that trade than they ever should have. But the bomb will be going down here. And Kenny, he has the kit. Trying to see if he can run in through construction right here as MBK goes down. Apex takes one fight. Oh, what a great follow-up kill. And now Speedy going to be alone. 1 versus 2, hiding behind the pillar, but not for a long time. Apex looked like he wasn't even stopping. That was just a drive-by shooting at the end, making it 7-9. Apex
is the MVP by a long way in this game.
Yeah.
The amount of rounds he's turned around himself, it doesn't even matter about the kills necessarily. It's the rounds he's getting these kills in. They're so integral. Those 2 kills then, the second coming through was absolutely sick, and then the final one, as you said, it almost seemed like it didn't stop. But that round from Mousesports isn't anything new. You kind of just like make noise through second mid as if you're going to hit it. You leave one person down by T-stairs, and you do a quick play up towards Banana, hoping that maybe someone from Envy would have pushed down, and you catch him off, and you try and take the pretty much a 4v1 or 5v1 on B. But Mousesports again just going to go back with just 2 Deagles. Got a Zeus on Speedy, not too surprising, and the P250s. So again, these rounds are close but baffling.
Who buys a Zeus on the terrorist side?
Speedy does.
I mean, at least on the CT side, you could try and stand around a corner with sort of a grin on your face, just hoping, you know. Is this going to be hilarious? Ooh, Dennis with a great deal shot there. Strafing on an Apex, never saw it coming. I mean, it started like this in the first half, so why not just continue here? If Mousesports win this round, this game will just be completely unpredictable.
They have no armor. They have just upgraded pistols pretty much. I think there's a smoke on Christian. I don't know if that was his originally or if he picked it up off someone else. But again, they've now got something to maybe hit this B side with. They can smoke with the cross, and it's just Devil. But that's a P90 with him. There's one flash remaining. Once he hears these steps, he can slow him down. That's going to catch out one. Catch out. Not quite too easy enough. He finds two in the end, but still, they the bomb in that smoke. Dennis finds another. Can't quite find much more than that. And there you go. Bomb now picked up. Going to go for the plant. Next, going to try and land the shots. This round is far too close for what it should be. They're able to get the bomb down, able to land some shots. Okay, the retake comes in, but losing 3 players, losing a bomb plant against an unarmored T side with just upgraded pistols is kind of weird.
They got to be lucky at least that Devil picked up those 2 kills, because otherwise I don't know how that would have worked out. But it will be EnVy winning the round, getting one closer to equalizing the score here. And Mousesports, because of the bomb plant, they will be able to buy pretty decently this time around. And EnVy, they will get 5 smokes, just the 1 Molotov here. That means if Mousesports play this round just a bit slowly, then by the 35-second mark, something like that, they should be able to just walk in wherever they want. Unless EnVy are extremely good at saving their grenades, so it's very hard to do.
I do like this stack, though, through apartments. It's something EnVy occasionally do. They used to do it a lot more, is try and get some presence here, and especially with MBK. What? Nico just spams it out. Apex is going to be livid. I'd be absolutely gutted if that happened, but MBK's still got a good position, but no one's going to be able to really support him. Actually, Happy's pulled himself up here as well, so...
Did he at least land on the bed in there? Is that would be like the... Oh, so close, isn't it?
So close. Almost had a little nap.
Sad, very sad.
Oh, that really does suck.
Sleeping next to the bed, like Henry after a good after party. It's going to be Nico going down, and MBK looking for a shot up in apartments, but Speedy walking in fact. Not even some sort of flashy peek, just casually making that work. Happy in the middle to return on Chris, and they are just trading absolutely back and forth. There seems to be no real plan from anyone's point of view here. Speedy finding another kill, and a completely separate battle over at the B-bomb side is next. It is going to be taking down Devil. It's now a 1-on-2. Kenny trying to see if he could find a way back in. They're obviously going to get the bomb planning B right now, and he can't really do anything to stop that. So, another really strange round.
You can see the initial intention from EnVy, but Mouse just kind of played that puggy and got the picks. There's not much more to it. That was kind of impressive on their behalf to be able to pull it off. And Kenny, how much of a shot does he have at this one again? And their money isn't wonderful at this point, but see if you can do anything here. Maybe just look around for the exit. He starts to get past Spiddy, who's holding this angle, and that's exactly how it's going to go down. So Spiddy's going to find Kenny, and well, for Mouse, playing puggy clearly worked out on that.
Now look at the money on the French side. They just cannot continue to buy. Happy, bit of body armor and a deagle, and a grenade. Just all the time tempted to buy more things.
Just slowly trickling down, like buying just a 2k as well. Apex just sticking right on that marker, but no one else can really afford much. Devil's got a nade, a P250 with Kenny. It's pretty poor, but if this goes by previous standards, this should be a round win for EnVy. By this game standards, this is an easy victory for EnVy. Don't worry about it.
And this goes back, I think, to sort of the lack of focus that we were talking about. Because the struggle in this game, especially on the CT side, is to get the better economy and to be able to buy better rifles and just keep going. That was the spray, by the way, that Nico got the kill with in the beginning of the last round. But it seems like at this point, you get all the advantage, you get the better rifles, you have everything you need, and then you can't focus enough to actually just get the rounds done. I think it is what it is,
So 8-10, Mousesports should be making this 11-8. This should be their clean round. They're going to take their time. They still have the mollies to clear out the corners. They still have enough utility that they shouldn't be rushing this again. And actually forcing a couple of the EnVy players maybe deeper into the sites, have to dig them out later. But the Deagles can still do a fair bit of damage, and nades are still there. There's still a chance for doing a little bit of work here, but Mouse are being very cautious. Bordering on hesitant, but nevertheless going to be taking their time. Got to be relatively careful of MBK, though, on that sort of CT arch corner. Now they're starting to pull players back over towards A, and in the meantime, Mouse is going to start heading towards the B side. Happy's going to probably hear this. I assume they're hearing the steps on Banana. You can hear it pretty easy through Speedway, so head themselves back through. Happy lines up the nade. They see what's coming in. Nade goes down, doesn't do a great deal of damage. Now it's down to Devil and Happy to deal whatever they can. But Kenny's found Next, and suddenly this isn't so clean. But again, down to 9 seconds here. They're going to have to get that plant pretty darn soon, or they'll just keep getting these kills here. Especially does get the plant, but Kenny S works his way in, doesn't get the rifle out of it, must have fallen on the other side. We're in a 3v3.
Pretty good double kill from Kenny so far, but MBK going to walk into a shot. Apex following up on Chris. And now they'll make it a 2-on-2. Bomb out in the open. They don't have a kit here, and as Kenny goes down, it's going to be all over Nico with the triple, and it very nearly happened again. But this time, Mousesports going to be able to hold on to it. And Envy's money, even though they did sort of even it out a little bit, now they're going to continue to even it out. They don't feel comfortable going for a weird buy up here. It would be, I think, it would be of too big of a risk anyway.
Even for Envy, who are like the let's just force up with whatever we can have, there is a limit to what they can do, and as you said, just breaking even that economy as much as they can. CZs, P250s, they have a bit more armor, I guess, and they've stacked out this B site. Mouse do like to show a little bit of presence early on towards B, so maybe not a bad shout. You can probably easier recover the rifles if needed, but that's a nice little flash towards the corner. That should catch 2 of them, if not Kenny as well. So again, Mousesports going to be just clearing out as they go. They know that they're probably coming up against a rather weakened side, but just a little bit hesitant of these stacks, worried about what's coming up against. And this could be a flash to allow the 3 players in, and they're going to go for this, actually. And actually, Nex and Dennis were not flashed at all, but Kenny still found Nex, and again, doing so much damage here for very little investment. Okay, thank you, Chris J, for not making this round terrifying again.
Sort of impressive that really didn't seem to flash at anyone. I'm not sure what that was, but greatly handled by Mousesports, just only losing Next so far, and that's all they are going to lose in the round. She'll put us at 12-8, a 4-round lead here for the Mousesports team. And Envy, this is what they've been saving for, and I feel like in rounds like these, this could really put you on tilt if you can't make it work. You know, you've given up 2 rounds for free, more or less. Now you've got the AWP, you've got all the equipment. You could, on Happy as well, because,
I really hope Kenny doesn't step away from AWPing. This was discussed on the desk as well, that maybe he didn't quite like the idea of it, but again, a bit of a shame if that does become a commonplace. But again, it's not super surprising to see Happy on the AWP anyway. So, AWP v AWP, Chris J's been able to pick it up too, and you can see the little slide out and see them trying to get some control through mid. And it's going to be MBK and Kenny S towards CT Arch. And then Apex playing towards Pit, just sitting on the edge of that balcony. So MBK is probably going to be the first one to spot this out, and timing is everything, and he just walks right into Chris J, leaving it now down to Kenny S, in case anyone tries to follow up. And he's going to drop down the molly, try and buy some time, and that means that Happy now needs to consider where he's going to play this, because Mouse, they are loving this rotate. They're going to hit it up every time they get that first pick, head over to the other side, assuming Happy's rotated, and again, they're correct to believe as such. But whether or not Happy stays here long is going to be the next big thing, and how much damage can Devil do?
With 1 smoke and 1 M4A1, not enough to kill 5 people. This boy only got 20 bullets, so he can't even go for a really long spray, but that's a great mid-air headshot. At least visually it was impressive. Now the problem is, there's still a man down here in Envy. They just have to run. Again, their money, they can't afford to go for this kind of a retake, so another round for Mousesports, just with 1 kill in the middle on MBK peeking at Chris, and then the follow-up shot from Speedy. And you were pointing this out earlier, but Speedy really has been playing well.
And I actually liked that round from Mousesports. They're starting to seem a little smoother, a little bit cleaner on these kind of plays, and they're pulling Happy left, right, and center. They're not allowing him to be able to cheat over towards the site early, or fill the role of MBK, who fell, and supporting Kenny S towards quad. CT Arch, and then just leaving Devil alone and making the most of it. Whether or not that will change, because Happy will say, screw it, I just won't rotate, but then you start thinking, well, will they just go off the site? Then will they read into what my adaptation will be? And again, Mousesports' T side is starting to look a little more robust. Now they've got that full buy-in. Now they've got the AWP on Chris J. But we'll have to wait and see. The money's still not perfect. It's fairly decent on the likes of Chris and Nex, so there's going to be a bit of a bank there. Dennis as well. But for the CT side, it's far from perfect.
This is so ridiculous because, I mean, if you just forget about all the nonsense that was going on in the first half and just think they did finish 9-6 Envy. They didn't win the pistol on the CT side. That means they should be making it 9-9 and be in prime position to just sort of, stomp Mousesports essentially. Have all the money. Mousesports going to be struggling to find those dreaded T rounds on Inferno, and this just hasn't happened. They haven't even made it to 9 yet. Very, very weird version of Envy that we're seeing now right now. But So it could also be, because they were talking about this on the analyst desk, and NBK was talking about it a little bit during DreamHack, that they did want to try and find new roles for people and try and sort of switch the everything up a little bit on the team. That could also just be what we're seeing here, that they are sort of mid-transition, as it were.
Yeah, I guess you have to say the rough with the smooth at this point as well. It's never easy to make those switches and stick with them. It's pretty difficult. But I guess there's no better practice in official games to this degree when you know you're not fighting for the qualifier anymore. This is the perfect place to try it out. But good positioning from Happy. It's a bit of a one-and-done spot he was in initially, but he actually finds the escape with Devil there in the pop flash off the little wooden pillar. So he's been able to fall back towards site. That's going to mean a bit of a difference here. Mouse have been operating generally with that first man advantage in these, in the more kind of flush gun rounds. But let's see how well they do. Now they have the disadvantage, and they're still going to try and hit this B side, it seems, next. Nico, Chris J, and Spitty were going to head in. Happy's completely locked out, and Devil's burning alive. Just about puts out the fire on 6 HP, but while this happens, look at it. Mouse are all over the site. Happy has to back out of this and play for the retake now.
Seemed like Devil was trying to debate with himself whether or not he actually should put it out and just accept the fact that he was already dead in that corner. Great shot from NBK. It might not be enough here. There's still a man down. The bomb already planted. Happy and Kenny. Not a lot of rifles to save, but they are going to try and do it. That spray from Nex is so close to taking down Happy. It will be 14 rounds for Mousesports. Seemed like he just had that, in his hand for a while. I was looking at the fire,
Just take it. Just take me away from this dreaded place. Yeah, not exactly a great hold. But again, this is just credit to Mousesports' T side. They made that B hit work very well, even with the man disadvantage. They were able to convert that into a round win. Completely locked off the capability of Happy with the AWP then after he made such a great start in this and got all the information down. Nothing too spectacular. It was just a good B hit, pretty much. Smoke up and just deny the player off of New Box. It was just quite nice. All in all, there's nothing particularly special, but it's just well done at this point. So the likes of Spitty playing extremely well. You're seeing Nico, of course, doing what we kind of expecting to, which is being towards the top of the scoreboard. But again, these kills coming in are very impressive from Mouse, and I'm liking this T side. Envy yet to seem to get a hold of it themselves. They do have a decent buy coming into this one, as good as they can probably get at this point. They've got the mollies there, a couple of smokes. So in theory, this should be their round if there was ever going to be one.
They've gone for a very standard setup as well, so we're going to see if they could put an end to the Mousesports run here. It is obviously possible for them to get back into this game, but they would almost have to play the next 8 rounds flawlessly, which they just... use a lot of words about the first sort of, rounds we've seen in this match. Flawless probably wouldn't be one of them.
Special, I think, would summarize it pretty well.
Extra special Counter-Strike. Yeah.
Gosh. But this time Happy going to switch up, new angle, holding towards B, a little bit further back again. Last time he was kind of closer towards Porch, so he can actually back out of this and go the long way around towards Ruins if he needs to. And Mousesports going for that 4-1 split. Nico kind of playing, I guess, the Happy role, if anything. Just trying to keep attention, trying to keep players drawn towards that A site if they're going to try and get B as quick as they can. And, well, so far the smokes have gone down. They are taking their time on this playthrough, actually. Devil has to back away from that. Suddenly comes out with the flash, so he has a chance in this one. The Mouse aren't quick on the hit this time. They're taking their time. It's a 1-for-1 trade out. Happy finds next, but Nico stays alive and catches out Devil. And bearing in mind, the rest of Envy are pretty much locked off from this site. But Nico has the bomb, and he doesn't want to commit just yet. He wants more time with this. He wants those angles to be controlled, and Dennis locks down one of them.
Look how late the bomb plant is here. They actually almost line up, but somehow Dennis wins that fight. They're all very low on the Mousesports team, and that's Apex walking and getting the first one, looking for a second as well. He's going to be successful. And Speedy, in a one-on-one Apex, he couldn't get the clutch last time. And there's a smoke going in there, trying to see if he could, or he should be maybe trying to see if he could just angle it a bit. Speedy going to be going down. Apex with a triple instead. I was wondering if he was going to try and play at the edge of his own smoke, but that never happened. In Apex this time, I probably think an easier clutch than last time because they were all solo, but it's still pretty impressive. And putting him at 19 kills, one behind Nico's at 20.
Yeah, it seems that Apex is one of the only players who's thoroughly stepped up for Envy, especially that T side was pretty much profound from him. If you looked at the kills he got and the impact of those, however, not so easy to have that individual level of impact on the CT side. When you're playing retakes consistently towards B, it does become quite monotonous at that point, but still, he's been doing very, very well for himself. Again, the economy's pretty weak, though. You look at Devil, he's on the mag 7, maybe a bit of a choice at this point. Actually couldn't afford much more, to be completely fair to him, so I guess you have to go with what you go with, but Mouse maybe expecting a little more aggression or just taking their time. They have a perfectly fine buy. Again, Chris still able to get that AWP to hand and the mollies to bear, but at the moment, Devil and Happy playing a little bit closer here as well, maybe trying to get a place for that Mag 7 to kind of trade out with Happy or assist with Happy, try and find its position. You can't play it anywhere else, really. And Mousesports, will they go back to B? Will they play that same style? They still haven't really paid too much attention towards A yet.
Well, if you are going to play this style of Counter-Strike, then, you know, I almost prefer you go with shotguns, you know, get the wide spread in, just make sure something is going to be working. I actually think Mag 7 is not much of a downgrade on this map, as long as you're defending. The problem is if you want to retake later on, then retaking with a Mag 7 is awful. But as long as you're in your position, then, you know, Mag 7 or M4 it's almost all the same to me anyway. Because you can still get like a good couple of kills in with it. So looks like it's going to be a bit of well, either a split or a fake coming out here. See if it's going to be working. Kenny right at the edge, easy kill, and Happy taking out Dennis. So they win a fight on either side of the map, and that should be enough.
Yeah, Kenny's a bit of a beast on this spot particularly, and we're seeing just as to why Chris got the better of him before, but not this time. Now left into a 1v2. The rotate comes round, and Devil round the back will find two. Good round from EnVy, locking it down. Mousesports not quite finding those initial picks they were depending on early. They kind of did that, you know, almost Fnatic style, flash up mid, get those three players there, but Kenny was playing so deep, he just kind of came back around, and there was Nico waiting ever so patiently. I
do think you're right that sort of the part of the lack of focus is that the fact that EnVy obviously cannot qualify for the playoffs in this league, but I still think it's very important when you're a top team, and I still think EnVy's top team, even though we make a little bit of fun of them every once in a while. I actually am quite sure that they're going to get back on track, and they have just too many good players for it. You have to be worried. You have to be careful about just saying, oh, it's just you know, match doesn't mean that much to us. You know, maybe we lose to Mousesports, so what? Because to Mousesports, it does something else, right? Mousesports beating EnVy, that gives them confidence. I mean, next time they meet you on LAN, they're going to remember this game and say, actually, we did pretty well against these guys, and they'll be playing a different game, and they'll be more dangerous later on. I have the ultimate example of that, but not for now, because Devil is here. They're running for the fire on the other side. Mousesports, they've had a lot of success at the B-bomb side. This is not going to be one of them.
Seems that once that economy became so flush for CT side, which is EnVy, they've been able to actually lock it down. Those mollies were perfect. The nades that followed were pretty deadly, and especially that spray down from Happy. Now Chris J cowering in the corner like, maybe they won't expect time here, guys. Maybe the firing squad will be waiting. So there you go. It was just a great use of the mollies, great timing coming out, both of them there. The smoke couldn't put out both. It only put out one of them, which was a little closer in. So once they tried to commit past that porch, tried to commit towards the site, it was like, well, you know, where do you go? Do you just sit in the fire and burn to death, or do you just try and take the fight? And the spray down came in.
So back when NiP were on their ultimate streak, this is, you know, story time with Anders here.
Oh, story time with Papa Anders.
Yeah, when they were on their ultimate streak, it got broken. I mean, obviously ended up losing to Virtus Pro, but the French team, very games back then with Existence, all the rest of them here. Wait a minute. All right, Happy, sleeping in the corner. It's a bit weird.
A little nap.
You might have to break off the story just to see if they're actually going to be doing anything. But you guys stay tuned. I will continue this story eventually. We'll
retune into story time with Anders after this
we'll do
short
it
commercial
at the beginning of the next round. You know, get it in over a couple of rounds, right? Nice peek from Kenny, but he did actually get tagged very low himself. So that's a bit annoying. And EnVy should be able to sort of make it out of this round without suffering too many casualties. I say that because that hasn't really happened yet. But there's the flash that we were talking about earlier, coming in from the pit, and it's so safe for EnVy to peek after. It's a good teamwork coming up there.
Yeah, nice little spray to follow up as well. He's just done what you should be doing these rounds, but considering how much EnVy was struggling with this before, and Mousesports as well, both have been kind of finding it hard to play against eco-out teams, even if Happy was having a nap at the start. You know, this is what they need. They need to kind of make some sort of stability amongst their economy, make sure they're not just dropping these needless rounds here and there, and it is pulling EnVy back into this game. Mousesports, however, still have a chance for a bit more damage in the hands of Nico. He's got 28 seconds, but not going to get it. He runs into Apex, who just shuts him down. So EnVy bringing the scoreline pretty darn close, but Anders, story time.
Go on, yeah, no, so I'll make it real quick. Anyway, they end up playing very games in some insignificant online qualifier that they were always going to qualify the tournament anyway, which was DreamHack Bucharest, which I think is now what we know as PGL, so morphed into that. They lose that one game, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever, it's the best one online game. No one cares, you know. This doesn't mean that now very games are going to be, you know, suddenly able to beat NiP a lot, and that's exactly what happened. Suddenly, because very games to them it was huge. You know, it was yes, it's finally happening. I finally beat them. And they, they obviously played different against them later on. I think Nip made a big mistake because they even said on Twitter after, they even said, well, it wasn't a big game for us, we don't care, so what, But they probably should have cared.
Yep, and so I guess some of that very games lineup is pretty much playing in this still. I'm trying to think back. I assume MBK was still in that sort of lineup at that point.
Yeah, he would have been, yeah.
Not sure who else. Maybe Apex, possibly. I'm not sure if he was in still towards like LDLC at that point. I'm not sure.
So long.
Long time ago now. But it was the bridesmaids that they were always the bridesmaids to NIP at that point. So
yeah.
Relatively relevant, but Happy's having a whale of a time. So, we kind of called him out a little earlier. Touch, not much. He was sleeping the last round. He's suddenly woken up from that nap, found 3 at the top of mid. And it seems that whenever teams go for this like second mid play where they do the set smokes, it's kind of been unraveled on both sides now. So it's just down to Christian, a matter of staying alive and doing a bit more damage. And he's done wonderfully thus far, but not going to find much more as Devil was already starting to close in from Banana. So again, Envy bringing this back very, very close now, 13-14. Mousesports with a rather beautiful lead at the start here has been kind of trashed, and now they're down to the Tech 9s. Now their economy's looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, we said they needed to win, 8 rounds in a row flawlessly to do this, and I was making light of that because I didn't see that was going to be possible. Maybe someone has been tweeting in the meantime saying you guys had better step it up because Anders is talking trash in the meantime. I don't know. They are certainly playing a much better game right now, Envy, which is delightful. They should be able to. I mean, again, they're top level team here. So it's nice to see them waking up, even if it's very, very late in the day here. And look at Kenny picking up one with the AWP follow-up shot on Dennis. And this was an attempt at sort of a Tech 9 armor run towards the A-bomb side, which they themselves demonstrated on their T-half was very lethal. You could definitely make that work. Mousesports were not able to. It's going to tie the scoreline now at 14-14. And I think Mousesports, they really are the... not particularly a fan of any one team, but if I was a Mousesports fan, I would be the most sad out of all fans, nearly, I think. Just think about how upsetting it must be. Every single tournament, without fail, they get so close. I mean, that's obviously... It's just depressing, isn't it?
It is a little. It's almost like that kind of old, I guess, Astralis curse to a very smaller degree where you're like, you start to believe in them, you're like, they're finally playing well, Anders. Anders, you can finally believe in them, and then, it gets to
Astralis would be on that list we're making of sad fans. Astralis probably be number 2, I reckon. They would depending on where your allegiance lie, of course.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, I don't know. This is a bit upsetting to
personally,
say.
I can't deal. I can't watch Nico's face anymore at these tournaments. It's getting to me. It's really getting to me.
It's the fact that people highlight it every time now as well. It's like, and this is what happened, and this is Nico's face afterwards. You can see like the top of the subreddit, just like a little tear starts rolling down. So oh, no, not again.
Ridiculous. Absolutely. It's because also because I think it'd be one thing. I think Nico would like to just have a tournament where they still go out, but at least he sucked, Like, it would be great if he only had, like, 7 kills. Then he'd be like, whatever, I didn't really do it. It's always different, isn't it? It's always him dropping, 40 kills per map. And then...
I always just get that Linkin Park in the, song in my head. Tried so hard, got so far. In the end, we might get grouped. It's just like, poor little Nico.
There was a time when Frag movie makers would only use Linkin Park songs for all that. This did happen in Call of Duty because it happened in Counter-Strike.
Cell Dweller, Linkin Park, Papa Roach. I say those 3 kind of like on
Papa
repeat.
Roach. For a while it was Evanescence as well. That happened a lot in Counter-Strike. Everyone. Evanescence, let's go. So
you just see those flashbacks with just Nico's sad face now? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
If someone could make a montage of just Nico looking really sad with either Evanescence, Linkin Park, or any of the above, we'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
The thing is, I don't even know what to say when I see him after the game, I see him walking out, all I could do is sort of shake my head, and he's shaking his head on the other side too, saying, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's one of those days again, Anders, I guess.
All right, so into this round, we are at 14-14. And Mousesports was so close to having a bit of a beautiful game here. They had everything going into the second half well set for them once they started to build those rounds back to back. And we even said that Envy would have to do something pretty darn impressive to turn this around. We hesitated in saying the word almost flawless, or something along those lines was dabbled with, but now they've seemingly let Nico off the leash. They're just going to see what he can achieve here, or maybe he's just had enough and said, well, screw it, guys, if you're not going to do it, I'll try my luck. And he's not going to have much luck with Kenny, sitting back towards the site, and the variety coming up from Kenny now on towards this A site has been quite enjoyable to watch, playing either deep CT arch, switching up, playing towards the site itself, and Mousesports left with 4.
Kenny doing a really good job opening the last couple of rounds, just sort of cementing the fact that he's obviously not supposed to be opening in the future. Just because
shouldn't all.
He's doing too well, a bit of a job here. Nice Molotovs raining in from Mousesports, and you can't blame them for going back to B. Happy picking up the AK that was just killed. Oh. And another one coming through, making it a triple, and next. Well, he goes down. Happy. The last 3 bullets landing on next. That's a quad kill. And Happy, in the last couple of rounds, he's overtaken everybody. He's got 27 kills out of nowhere.
What is with Happy on this bomb site on this map? You give him a deagle, you give him an AK, it doesn't matter. He's absolutely sick, but all right, Happy, welcome back to the game. Suddenly it's weird that Kenny starts playing well when he has the AWP, and, you know, maybe when Happy has a rifle, he starts playing really well as well. So these kind of changes seem to have worked out, and now Mousesports and their economy are absolutely shattered. We've got UMPs coming out, I guess, for the utility more than anything. And I hope they don't just do this Fnatic style, flash up through mid and make the play off the back, but they're doing the same smokes almost.
Yeah, they are setting up for it. Maybe Happy wasn't sleeping in the corner earlier. Maybe he was like, you know, downloading new firmware for his brain, and then now he's just ready for it. Kenny going to be caught going back around the archway, so this time it works for Mousesports, and they're playing for overtime right now. Apex trying to make that rough, though, getting the 1 kill. They just chest bumped each other in the smoke, and nobody realized. NBK is going to be going down in the pit. Apex looking to defend and buy time. He's not going to be successful, but Happy looks like he could have got that 2nd kill. Now it's all on Devil here in a 1-on-3, and it definitely smells like overtime at this point in time.
It does, Anders. I'm pretty sure. Don't get me wrong, Devil's got a chance in this, but it's a slim one. He's still got a molly and a flash to work with. They have upgraded one of the 2 UMPs here. I think that's Nico managing to pick one up towards the M4. Next is going to spot him out, and it's going to be next to close it down. And Mousesports just about rekindle what they were working with before, and we're going to have overtime. So maybe a chance at redemption, or maybe they're just, you know, really drawing out that heartache. Like, you start to lose hope. You're like, it's over. Envy have this again. And they're like, don't worry, guys, we've almost got it back. And then they go to overtime and just lose everything.
You know, we should have seen this coming, Lauren, as well, because did you think about how this game has gone? Of course it was going to be overtime.
Yeah, silly us.
Just shout out to Tobias N on Twitter, who's saying that, you know, we have no idea how hard it is being a Mousesports fan.
I don't. I'm sorry. It must hurt.
Just takes real dedication, in other words, you know. You've got to really be serious about it.
Oh, bless.
But I mean, I don't know much about football, but football's like that, right? There are football clubs that sort of decades do really bad, and they still have local support, right? Anyways. So.
Yeah, I support West Ham. Well, kind of. Not as much anymore. But you know Ming Lee, Chris Mead, he's a West Ham supporter. He knows the highs and lows of pain. He definitely does.
Chris is into football. Yeah,
Chris Mead is a huge West Ham fan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah?
See, he doesn't strike me as a very athletic guy.
Wow! Poor old Ming Lee, just getting brutalized.
I'm so sorry, Chris. he is the nicest person, though. He's incredible.
And you've just gone full on.
That's why I knew I could get away with it, you know?
He's like those Mousesports fans just crying internally now, like, Papa Anders has been mean to me today.
I know Chris is not going to try and, you know, take a fight with me, you know, next time we see each other. We do it all the time as well. Okay, we'll move on from this.
You can take this round, you evil man.
Oh, Kenny, that was almost the lineup. They actually, it looked like they were trying to bodyguard each other from getting killed by Kenny there. But he only takes the one with him, and that puts a lot of strain on Devil, who's alone at the B bomb site. They're very slow to run, to sort of capitalize on this. They might be worried that it's another 2 people over here, but it's really just Devil. And he just has to try and stay alive. He gets the one, and actually a very good job. But now 3-on-3 for the full retake here.
I guess, knowing that Happy was still alive, they maybe assumed he'd be somewhere closer by, but he was actually over by the A side. So a fair assumption, a little bit curious until you work out who's standing, but great damage from Apex again. This nade could do some serious work if he threw it. All right, there we go. That'll go this time.
Oh, that's a bit interesting. They're very low on health. That could have well done it. They have the Molotov for the back line here. Goodbye, Dennis. He's going to be walking right into it. And MBK picking up next as well. Chris alone to die to NBK. So great retake coming out of Envy, and Mousesports just not with enough health, and sort of individually, I mean, yeah, but I think you're absolutely right. I think they were worried about Happy because that is his normal position. So that's a pretty good point. I don't know what to say. I thought Mousesports, as soon as they get the trade in with Kenny, that's all they need.
Yeah. So it looks like Mousesports started to realize that maybe we can exploit that kind of play through CT Arch, work through that way. It did work out in those final couple of rounds. But the split almost came in. The retake again was great, though. Apex did so much damage. This guy seems to turn up a little bit even further when these rounds start to matter even more. So again, very impressive from him. But Mousesports going to start getting flashbacks maybe to the rounds prior to the one they actually converted to a victory. Kenny with the more aggressive peek through apps. Doesn't quite get the shot, but gets the information. There are players in second mid, so they can maybe cheat Happy over early, which it seems like they're doing.
Well, standard smokes coming up here. They got the trade last time. They're going to try and see if they can do it again. But this time, Envy has switched up their defense. So Mousesports, they might be thinking they could do the same thing, but it's going to be 4 men stacked over here, making life pretty hard on them. Molotov to force them back a little bit. Actually, Chris moving forward here. He's got to be very careful right at the edge. And Happy trying to get the spray through. He almost kills 2, but somehow they both survive. Kenny walking in on quad. Did he not see that man? I don't think he saw the guy jumping past, but he's going to get the kill on next. Either way, lining up for a second. Kenny just absolutely wrecking them. And a great 3-for-1 trade in favor of Envy.
Absolute beast plays. Considering Mouse had that kind of like step in the right direction of getting control towards A, that was sick. But Devil needs to slow them down or get these kills coming in. He already finds the first. Nico falls. And now Dennis left in a 1v4. He has very little HP to work with. There was a chance that maybe Mousesports could overwhelm that B site very quickly, try and make the most of it. But now it's all fallen apart, and you can thank that pretty much over towards Devil, Kenny, and NBK. Kenny and NBK going big once they slow down that hit towards A, and Devil just holding his own, doing exactly what he needs to do. And sadly for Mousesports, this overtime isn't going so well.
No, it's definitely not. At least they're on the T side, so they will have money here for the last round of their T half in overtime. See if they can make it work. Those B pushes they were doing earlier really seemed to work. And in regulation at the end here when they were doing it, they seemed to just do them out of desperation, and they were like, we've lost the guy in mid, let's try and push B, which is so predictable when you're on the CT side. So maybe just try and, they can almost get top banana control here. Just get that and go for the full execute, I think.
So, 4 smokes still. Still got a molly, still got flashes. Well, he did. And they're getting very close to this B site. Happy is still holding this angle. It was actually very well held between him and Devil before. The smoke came out from Devil very quickly, and that was through the walls. So I don't know if they know that hit.
No.
Don't think they did. I don't think anyone came up far enough. And Happy's still holding his ground. This is brave play. Everyone's starting to line up on B here. So Devil and Happy need to be on point. There's the first. He gets it. There goes the smoke. Flash comes out afterwards, and here we go. There is the lockdown. Devil actually putting out the molly this time, then following with the smoke, being far more active in this one, allowing Happy now to escape. But this hold has been sublime, and Happy takes Maz into his own hands as well, pushing out, finding Chris J, and now Nico left all alone, a little bit having to, walk through the massacre of his teammates at this point, and just stare down as he knows that this overtime has not gone well for his team.
No, Nico can't do much here. He's going to end up dying. There is something, fitting, almost satisfying about a player named Devil just grilling people.
There's something to be said.
On Inferno for a match. Why not?
The puns initially once he joined Envy were primed. I don't think I can repeat them anymore because it just hurts to go that cheesy. But
right.
It's a little far. But no, this was actually a really good performance from Envy on their CT side, considering how hit and miss it was throughout that game. They started to kind of stabilize a bit here, but again, Mousesports were no slouches on their CT side either. It was generally Apex being the impact player that we saw initially on their T side, so hopefully for him he can remember how that one went, but let's see. Envy don't need much more to win this game.
Well, 18-15, and moving into the second half of overtime. Double up setup being pulled out here by Mousesports, so pretty heavy investment. I was going to say if they lose the round it'd be painful, but it will be either way because they'll lose the game. They need to play this one flawlessly. In that sense, it's actually kind of a risk-free investment for them. They might as well do it because they're either going to make it work or they're going to lose the map in spite of being so far ahead here. It's just the destiny, the fate that Mousesports are tied to.
Sadly, no escaping it seems at this point. And Nico there was predicting the boost up, but this banana control actually started to work out very well late into the game on the T side, actually the CT side for Mousesports, because EnVy were kind of herded towards A, but this time they're sticking around by the bottom of mid. Nico could easily be overrun here. You've seen the pop flash, I think, being lined up by Apex. He's going to see him coming through, backs away just in time. I'm not sure if he can fully make it out. He does. So readjusts, put down the smoke, and now you can see the cheat coming back over, but they've got to be careful about Happy. He's still on the lurk. He's actually got a great position here towards CT Arch. Can't get past Chris J. So now, again, EnVy have to reset this round, and they're just going to go piling off the back of this towards A.
Let's see if they can follow it up here, and they're really quick, the rotation, but there are 3 people from Mousesports currently set up. The Speedy, who's still playing quite well, taking down 1, gets a follow-up as well for the double. And Chris will be there to pick up the last one with the AWP. So 16 to 18. And I don't know, I mean, I kind of wish they would have followed it up, because what Nico did, the one mistake he did over there, is that he did actually fire his AWP. So you know there's someone running Map from long and they have an AWP. It's about, I said there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be alone there. So just run him down, you know. So what if he kills 1 or 2, even 2 people, even if he trades 2 for 1? You have the bomb site and you're now playing 4 versus 3. I would still probably take that trade most of the time. So I'm almost a bit sad they respected the smoke that he put up so much, you know.
Definitely could have done much more with that. But I guess they get to keep the double orb. We had to say, you know, Mouse had to, bring out all the stops. So I guess it works out in the end for them. And they're doing that 4-1 play again. This time Nico doesn't quite have the smoke there at the moment, but he will manage to put it down himself. Flash it down. And not exactly the best smokes in the world. It does cut off the T-stairs, but he's now got to be careful of a boost. The player's coming back from mid, and it looks like EnVy want to try and exploit this, but just plucks MBK out of the air. Brilliant shot. Now backing away. It looks like EnVy want to try and punish it, and now they're being taught a lesson. You tried it once, do not try it again. And look at Nico, the one-man band. He took down 2 on that one shot then, leaving just Happy alive, and he runs through the molly for the sake of it. He wants this ace. And his teammates are closing in, but Nico knows Happy has to come this way, and Nico waits ever so patiently, and what a ace from him. I guess we saw what can happen if you do try and chase him down, and EnVy get punished thoroughly.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like, every single one of those shots just very, very well put. Fantastic round from Nico. That's gonna almost time up with Happy, who's dropping a 30 bomb right now, but yeah, the 2 for 1 here. Just forget what I was saying about chasing him down. Just don't do that.
Yeah, never do that.
It's just a joke, anyway.
It was a prank.
Just
Social experiment gone wrong.
18-17, and if Mousesports win this round, we're going to go to double overtime. We could be here all night.
Yeah, could be. You know, nice long day. We've got another map coming up after this one as well. So to be fair, if you know, now the game's kind of smoothed out a little, and we're actually getting real CS rather than the weird CS we were getting that first and kind of into the second half, I'm fine with that. But we are going to see those quick kind of smokes going down, very similar to what EnVy did before, but this time again not working out particularly well. Dennis able to find 3 players back to back. Chris J whiffing the shot like a champion, finds a man behind, which is MBK, but next will close it down, and we're at 18-18. As you said, we might be here a long time, Anders.
Yeah, I think the second map between these 2 teams is Cash, if I'm not mistaken.
You are right.
So could be a bit fun as well. But right now, yeah, we are being treated to double overtime here. So gonna obviously do a bit of a reset in a second. They'll start with $10,000 each in the bank, and we'll see. Obviously now, and this is more sort of standard Inferno, which makes you wonder again, makes you feel like probably none of them were entirely warmed up for this evening, and the focus wasn't quite there. Because in regulation, there were a lot of T rounds that were popping up left and right. Obviously, both half finishing sort of 9-6, right? But still a bit strange overall, I would say.
Yeah, it was a really weird one. If you watch it back, the amount of eco rounds that were won against full buys, or just kind of like strange decisions, and I guess the players weren't just all that focused up just yet. So again, they'll be probably getting themselves back into this one. You can see that maybe just the kind of mindset's starting to click back in for both sides. And I wonder if we're going to see the double. No, we're not. So now Mousesports don't quite have their backs to the walls. They're not going for that double AWP setup to start with. Again, they can maybe suffer a round loss, or ideally not 2. But when you have nothing to lose, you might as well go for it. However, your economy can be trashed by that 3rd round if you do go for that full kind of investment into it. But this 3-play stack down towards Banana is something we haven't seen during these rounds just yet. That's because Chris J's cheated himself over here. So early presence and actually negating a player on towards CT Arch. This could be a little bit deadly if Envy try and work this out.
I'd really, if Chris is going to fall back, normally you don't want 3 people here for too long. If he is going to be the one falling back, I really want him to take a shot before he goes. Because if I was Envy right now, I would assume that they had gone for another double up setup. So just pretend that Nico's over here with an AWP and then run Chris back to the A-bomb site. And they would probably assume that there was maybe just the one AWP still. And instead you have 2 people with M4s. I'm trying to, I think that could potentially work as a mind game. One that you could almost exclusively only do in overtime, which is weird.
No. And they had the 3 players here, as you said. That doesn't normally stick out to that, you know, too long. It's normally like a quick thing, but now they've actually rotated players off. But Nico's still here, and Nico is not done just yet. He finds 2. And it's down to Chris J to buy the time, back away and stay alive, because that bomb's being planted no matter what they do at this point. But Envy are down to 2 players. They haven't been on the site, but a 4v2 retake shouldn't be something that Envy should win at this point.
Happy has been playing extremely well in Apex too, in fact, so maybe there is still a bit of a chance. He's setting up for a pop flash here. Can't hold it for too much longer, or they're just going to walk around the corner. There's the flash coming through, and AWP on the other side, but Speedy did help out, leaving it all on Happy. 1 versus 4, trapped in the corner. Molotov's raining in as well. They do a double jump around the corner, and that's going to be Dennis to pick up the kill, and Mousesports to win the round in the overtime, double overtime, in fact.
Yeah, so I guess for this one, it was just the fact that Chris J and Nico are in the right place at the right time, and I guess timing was almost on Envy's side, because Nico was starting to, you know, maybe back away a little. Chris J was falling away, and they had an additional player there at the start. They had 3 players towards Banana. So it was actually quite lucky for Envy to do the hit when they did, but didn't really work out in the end for them. So still able to buy into this one, of course, with that starting money. They're still perfectly fine into this. However, Mousesports starting to look a little more robust now. They've got everything they need, the full sets of mollies, so they don't have to be worried about anything at this point. And even if they did go for that double up, it could have been great, but Chris J's found Kenny regardless, so that's a good start at this point. And now Envy operating with 4.
French team right now look to be setting up for some apartments control. If they do get this control, then maybe try and put 3 people of apartments here. It's certainly possible. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what they haven't done yet. They've always had a lot of these executes from second mid towards Arch and Library, and they've tried various B executes. It feels like maybe if they could try and put some more pressure on apartments, that's one of the things they haven't tried too much of yet. Right now, they're just struggling to even get the mid control. They've saved a lot of Molotovs that they haven't used yet. They need 1 opening kill to actually make this work, and don't know where it's going to come from just yet. Flashbang goes up. Dennis is just back-to-back right now. He's going to get a great opportunity. He takes down both players. Somehow no one checking that corner. And the bomb is dropped here as well. That Molotov not going to do anything. Happy will find a kill, but I think it's almost too late at this point.
That's unbelievable that no one checked the corner, and he had such patience to wait to not pull the trigger on the first. He did just catch a glimpse before the flash went off, and now it's down to Happy. 1v2, 1 HP. He's already found 2 kills. I don't think you can ask much more of him, and he won't get much more. Next there to shut him down. And again, Mousesports with a good start here into this additional overtime to the first. So whether or not they can convert that, though, is yet to be seen. That's the next big thing here. Now, the money's still relatively fine here for the T side. And you can see he did catch a glimpse of 1 just passing him, and he waited so well. Kind of baited Chris J then, but, you know, if you do the damage, it doesn't really matter at that point. So Kenny on the Galil, so not exactly perfect, actually, tell a lie. So yeah, good stuff from Mousesports on their CT side. Maybe
you gotta, you know, you gotta bait to catch a beta. I don't actually think it was Happy he killed, but still, I just wanted to make that happen.
If
they don't actually have a lot of money on the Envy side though, which is a bit of an issue. They're on the terrorist side, and this is only the sort of the second round of the. Well, sorry, this is the 3rd round, but yeah, still a little bit low on grenades, and the Galil there on Kenny. A little bit tricky, and you gotta wonder if that's gonna come into play here later on. I mean, this definitely looks like a standard B play, but with the smoke going down, are they actually gonna try and follow up behind it? A 4-1 stack being set up by Mousesports on the other side.
Well, Nico, this could be either glorious or a huge mistake. He does catch a glimpse of Apex's head then, just by the wood stack, but no one from Envy going to punish this. They're going to assume he's backed away, but it's still Nico we're talking about here. This guy is confident as you like. He will finally back away, but buying plenty of time. The molly's gone down. And actually, MBK just walks past it, doesn't give a care in the world, and he's going to get that B-side all to himself. Well played by Envy, but curious choices from Nico and Mousesports in that one.
Bit risky. Now they're a man down, and Dennis eating a lot of grenade damage there. They still have 2 Molotovs because they picked Nikos up, I think. MBK with that one. It's going to make life really, really tough here. Mousesports, they obviously have to fight for the retake, but I don't see how they can make it through in time right now, assuming they don't just waste these Molotovs. They still have them. Finally, one is being put up. Happy has the other one. Apex going to be spraying furiously. Devil picking up a double kill, and all on Chris here. No way to get through this defense. He's going to go down a Happy as well. That will make it finally a round picked up on the terrorist side here. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I was about to say, that could be the game breaker in theory, just to really add insult to injury to those Mousesports fans going, you guys started to have hope, but look what just happened, guys. We'll see. For Envy, that's a massive bonus. Considering how well they started to play on their CT side, it did look pretty flawless in the first overtime. They didn't look all that pressured, to be fair. Mousesports started to struggle to come up with maybe new and better plays. Nico wasn't having the impact he had previously, apart from a couple of incredible moments individually that he pulled off, but it wasn't as consistent, you could argue. But still, this is going to be a bit of a tough one now. Mousesports, again, will have the choice of how hard do they go into this one, because it's all going to come down to those first couple of rounds as to how much they can push Envy now.
And what are they going to go for? Envy, they could go for a double upset of themselves. Maybe they were feeling inspired by what Mousesports were showing. They certainly have the money for it early on here. You also wonder, I really hope they put Kenny with Yorp over at Archway, just because that seemed to be working so well. So just let him control that position and then worry about the rest later on.
And Happy was far from a slouch when he was playing with the rifle as well on that B site with Devil. So it seemed they started to find some real kind of cohesion there themselves. But this is down to Mousesports to make the difference. And when their backs to the wall, it does seem as though they turn up a little bit better in theory. But Mousesports, with a quick stack, actually came out towards B, but not going to commit off the back of it. Devil's already been mildly tagged up, but look at this presence again. They tried this before, and then Nico just trashed them through bedroom pretty much, and left Apex just kind of chilling out. And actually, was it Apex? I'm not sure. He might have been Happy. I'm not too sure on that one. But again, it was actually Apex, because Happy was still weighing by Boiler. But
yes.
All that aside, it does seem as though there's going to be a bit of a B lineup here, and sadly for Envy, they have 4 players by A, and it's all down to Devil. He's still got the molly, still got a smoke and cell as a flash. But Mousesports have everything they need here. The longer they take, I guess the more hesitant the Envy will become, saying maybe we shouldn't stack 4 players here, but also their retakes were extremely good. So if Devil does some damage, they won't be in a bad spot. He spots out 3. Now the rest of Envy need to react. Devil's going to back away a little here, doesn't take the initial fight, and just going to try and lock down some of this map, some of this bomb site, and leave the rest to his teammates on the retake.
Oh, leg shot through the smoke on Nico. Kenny obviously doesn't know he's done that, but that could help him out later on. Molotov gonna buy some more time here, actually. Gonna be a little hard for the Frenchman to make it through, and now look at this double push out onto top banana. Chris spraying furiously, maybe could have actually waited a bit, then it's still a 3-on-3, even if they're low on health on Mousesports side. Bomb ticking away inside the bomb side, and Apex and Happy trying to see if they can make this retake work. They need this round, they can't let Mousesports be at another map point here. Happy gets the 1 kill, turns around, USB in hand. He's currently got the double, looking for the triple, and he's gonna be successful as well. And he won't have enough time, so it won't even matter. Oh no. Look at the pose there. Just how sad can you be? I mean, I guess if you are dropping 38 kills, which Happy currently is, you're allowed to be just a bit upset that that doesn't happen, but...
He's like, Nico, I understand your pain now. I'm going to take this dirt nap for a moment. Wow.
I'm so shocked that Envy keep putting Devil alone over there in that. First of all, he's the newcomer to the team. Yeah. It's very hard playing B alone. The only specialist players do that. Only if you have, you know, Crims or Neo or something like that, are you gonna feel confident putting someone alone in B. Otherwise, I don't know. It's just too big of a risk, I would say.
And off the back of Envy stacking out the apartments with no information as to why they'd do that, it was just maybe a gamble, it was a risk, it's sort of a Hail Mary, and fine, it can work, but it's a big risk for absolutely no information. And again, Devil goes down. Happy this time is a lot closer, but to what end? Already tries to sneak his way through the smoke, but doesn't find anything apart from the barrel of Nexus gun, and now MBK gets picked up as well. Dennis pushed through that smoke at the perfect timing, and sure, Mouse are low, but there's only 2 players left alive here for Envy.
The Mousesports Apparently, their T side has been woken up again because they're just 2 kills away from taking this map away from the Envy team, who did such a great comeback on their CT side during regulation and ended up in overtime. They had a good 7 rounds practically in a row that they were running through there to make that work. Now, trying to see if they can make this last retake happen again. Apex with 2 great kills coming through. The bomb is out in the open though, and Speedy with a headshot, leaving it all on Apex. Triple not gonna happen for him, and it will be Mousesports taking it in double overtime against Envy on Inferno. It's the first game of the night here at the ESL Pro League, but starts off a bit weird. Got to say.
I almost want to forget the first half of regular time, and then maybe like the first 3 or 4 rounds of kind of the second half. But then once it actually stabilized, it became a bit of a sick game.
Yeah, the last third of that, of regulation, was that we were starting to see reasonable Counter-Strike, you know.
and it was good. You saw Nico with the ace, you saw Happy.
That was good.
You know, doing, what was that, 38 at the end, maybe more?
Maybe more, something like that, nearly 40 bomb and
still.
It's pretty good.
But maybe Mousesports fans can now finally, you know, start smiling a little.
Yeah, don't be fooled, guys. Don't be lured in. Don't fall for that. Don't take the bait. We do have, and I don't envy these people, but they are going to try and do a bit of a tactical breakdown of what was going on in this game. So please, Lee, take it away.
Very much, Pandas. So, yes, well, interesting game.